Hey guys, today we're talking about one story in particular that's to do with David Dobrik, which is a whole different side of that whole situation. But before we get into it, subscribe, hit that bell, like, comment for engagement. My social media and anything else will be in the description along with my beauty channel. So let's get into it. Jeff Wittek is the topic of conversation. So what happened was quite recently, if you guys are living under the rock or you're just interested in outside of the internet things, which is also fine, David Dobrik has now been cancelled along with the whole vlog squad for a bunch of things. So David Dobrik is obviously huge creator. He makes videos, vlogs kind of 4 minutes and 20 seconds long, where he does a lot of skits, pranks, stunts, just a bunch of things that are, I guess, exciting to watch because it's not everyday stuff. But what has happened was people went back through his history on the internet and noticed many things that just didn't sit right with people. You know, pranks that he pulled, things that he said, things that he made people do, and things that he allowed to happen or solicited in happening. So for example, we have old jokes that him and Liza made, old jokes that he just made in general. We had Seth, how he treated Seth as the only black guy in the group, and stuff that Seth had to do. For example, he kissed Jason twice without his consent because he thought he was kissing a girl. And as a guy who is interested in women, for him to kiss a man is obviously not within his consent because that's not what he's interested in. And he consented to kissing a woman and he had to kiss a man, and that's not within his consent. That was given, right? He gave consent to kiss a woman. Then we had Big Nick, who was made fun of all the time, who was like the butt of the jokes. He also felt like he was being used for content, and then when he wasn't okay with the content anymore, he was basically just cut off from the group. We had Corinna getting tattoos so that she would get like $500 for rent, which is just wild to me. That was before she had her own career on like Twitch and stuff. And then we get to the bulk of his cancelling, which is Dom, that basically just slept with everyone, which would have been fine if there was consent, but there wasn't. So there was an insider article written about a girl that was anonymously called Hannah who was blackout drunk and he had slept with her, which obviously is not within the scope of legal stuff. And that came out, and because David had allowed that to happen for the vlog, he was obviously guilty in allowing that to happen and end up on his channel. Dom was guilty of a crime, and everyone else that was there was kind of like allowing it to happen. So he lost all of his sponsors, he lost 500,000 subscribers, he was demonetized by YouTube, which doesn't mean much because all of his videos were demonetized anyway for many different reasons, but still that option is not available to him anymore, at least for now. And he said he would be taking a break off social media. Now since then, Jeff has come out with multiple videos. So first he did a video that wasn't received well, where he was trying to, I guess, make himself look innocent while also making Hannah and Kat, the writer behind the article, look guilty. And then he admitted that he hadn't read the article, which was because of his eye injury. So he's got a head and eye injury and he's on really high meds. He's basically like half visually impaired now because of his one eye, because of the one eye that is obviously injured. And he said that someone else had read parts of the article to him. They didn't read the whole thing, and he had assumed that he knew what was in the article without actually reading it, and that he was still is on really strong pain medication. So he isn't thinking straight. He's not, processing things in the way that he normally would be processing things because of the concussion and because of the medication. So he then films a follow-up video where he explains, takes accountability, takes blame for stuff that he has done. And overall, it had a really good response, really good reaction from people basically saying like, hey, you couldn't have known what was happening. He even like put the blame on David a little bit, and he admitted that David knew that what had happened in this video was wrong because obviously Hannah had messaged Dom and Dom had told David to take the video down. So David and Dom knew all this time what happened and they just didn't tell anyone else. So Jeff all this time was defending David when it turns out that David just hadn't clued him in on the situation. It made him look like an idiot publicly for defending him, right? Because it's like Jeff thought he knew the whole situation, so he had defended David, he had defended Dom, and then it came out that they just kept this like secret from him that he didn't know about, and he looked stupid, he looked dumb, and then he admitted that he looked dumb. So everyone was just like, yep, makes sense. Fine. He has now come out. So Trisha on one of the Frenemies podcasts, said that they went to Ohio one time and they were supposed to film vlogs there and they just didn't end up posting anything. So she was like, I wonder what happened then. Basically, he kept on during the podcast where they were interviewing him, he kept on mentioning like, I could say something, but like people would get really angry. And then he like kept on stopping talking, and then he would start talking again, and people were really confused what he was on about. He is now doing a documentary, like a docu-series with multiple episodes. 2 have come out now that I'm going to be summarizing in today's video, where he says what has happened to his head and why he was so weird the last kind of like few weeks. So in part 1, he's saying that he's not suing anyone, he's not covering for anyone, nothing like that. He just wants everything to be out in the open, clear and explained. So that's what this docu-series is about, is just putting things out there and kind of giving context to some things that have been happening happening. He shows his childhood with his parents. There's some interviewing with his parents. Kind of he grew up sneaking out of the house and not coming back until like 5 a.m. and his dad would get really angry and put the mattress outside and pour cold water on it and be like, you're gonna sleep there now if you can't come back on time. And he was just like one of those naughty kids that just wouldn't listen. And then he started selling, and then he was caught selling and was facing 15 years in jail. But because they didn't get a search warrant to search his house for said, the whole case got dismissed and he was set free to just walk and live his life. So he decided to pack up his bags and go to LA, and that's where he met David. And David was fascinated by this almost prisoner and the fact that he had, you know, gotten away with such a huge crime. Well, not huge crime, huge sentence. It's not like he's a violent criminal. He just faced a really large sentence in the grand scheme of things, and David was really fascinated by that. So he had taken him on as a part of the vlog squad. And since then, you know, Jeff has started his own channel. He's got the barbershop where he does interviews and he cuts people's hair. And I mean, he was really successful at the time. And obviously it all started just going downhill. And then towards the end of the vlog, he shows what's going to be happening in part 2. And he shows the excavator scene. And now, when I mentioned his docuseries, I said that I personally, with my own 2 eyes, saw him get injured on the excavator. And people were like, no, you're lying. You're not doing enough research. It was a skydiving incident. No, it wasn't. 2 parts have come out now and it wasn't the skydiving incident. Thank you very much. I think I know what I saw with my own 2 eyes. It was actually really disturbing, and I went through all of that for you to tell me that I was lying. I wasn't. I know what I saw. So we get to part 2 and he says, you know, COVID happened. They're not filming vlogs. David has this huge plan to come back with a bunch of stunts. So they're skydiving on their own without an instructor. They're skydiving. They're doing the excavator thing. You know, so many things to come back with a bang, okay? But they didn't come back with a bang because of the injury. So the first thing is skydiving. So to be able to skydive on your own, you have to go through a kind of like instructor's training, and you have to skydive at least 25 times before you get your like license to skydive on your own. So they're in pretty much like a span of a few days jumping 25 times out of a flying plane. At some point the winds get really strong, Jeff gets blown away, he lands properly on some kind of like a piece of land. So that's already scary. But they decide to push it further. So David then rents out an excavator that he doesn't have a license for. Unless David suddenly got a license to work such huge machinery, which is, you know, it's dangerous, so you need a license for it. I don't know if he did, but it's funny because you look at the video and he's working this excavator, but he's also filming at the same time. So he's just got this one hand that he's filming with, one hand that he's filming with. He's not focusing on what he's doing. It's dangerous. It's a dangerous situation. Anyway, so they've got these like floaties and he's spinning them around. So they're like hooked up by a string to the excavator thingy, and they're hooked on and they're like on these ski boards and stuff, and they're all like spinning around on the water. It's all fun and games. Corinna then puts her foot on the like rope and he picks her up and he starts swinging her around. But then obviously knowing David, he can't just be like, oh, this is funny, let me swing her around slowly, it'll be really cute, it'll be really funny. No. He decides to swing her right up and make her lose balance and make her feel like she's about to fall and die. So she's like, oh my god, David, you always take things too far. She gets really pissed off. She gets off. So Jeff decides to step in and be like, look, she doesn't want to do it. It's dangerous. I'll do it instead if you want this shot for the vlog. And David's like, yep, get on. And he starts swinging him at the speed of light. And, okay, I have to agree. Jeff said that he had trusted an idiot to do this because David was the one that was working the machinery, and he said, I let an idiot do this, and I should have known better than to let an idiot do this, because David decided that mid really fast swinging of Jeff, he was just going to suddenly stop. Now if you put an item in motion, okay, and there's like something here and you're putting an item in motion and you suddenly stop, what's gonna happen is it's gonna swing into the thing. Like, just because you stop the machinery doesn't mean you stop the thing that's still swinging. And he just stopped. And he was like, he's going to stop as well. He didn't. He smacked straight into the metal excavator, fell with his foot still stuck to the string, fell headfirst into water, and his whole skull was broken. Like, apparently to the point where his, like, eyeball was falling out. I just want to know how this was allowed. I just want to know how you have PR agents, assistants, managers, and no one thought, let's get some stunt people in to figure this out properly. Let's figure out the physics, the statistics, the maths of this happening safely. Let's get some medics to come in just in case things go wrong. No. He just decided to put an excavator in the middle of the pond and swing his friends around while filming them, Why don't you get swung around? I'm just saying to you, you're really irritated by David because it seems like everything is at the expense of other people's health and safety. And he's never the one that's getting hurt. He's never the one that's, you know, getting embarrassed. No, it's just other people. It's like everyone else is doing the hard work for him and he's just getting the benefits of millions of dollars, but no one else is. So he's just swinging Jeff around. And at no point did he think, one, let me not abruptly stop this machine. Let me slowly try and get him to a stop, right? Because you're going to, instead of this, you're going to go quick and then slower and slower and so on until he, you know, loses momentum. No, he just decided to stop. That was a great thing to do, David. And two, no medics, nothing, no health and safety. Let's just go and swing people around in the air with no health and safety precautions. And obviously, Jeff said he's not pursuing legal action, but like he definitely could. He definitely could. He's got like lifelong injuries now because of this stupid vlog. And this just further shows the culture behind the vlog squad. This whole like all or nothing mentality, this whole we're doing everything for the vlog as if the vlog is that important. And it just showed in the Hannah situation, pushing things so far that you're literally committing crimes or you're letting your friends commit crimes. Or, you know, you're pretending you can't see that your friends are committing crimes because you got a good vlog out of it. And this, like giving people lifelong injuries, seeing that like Corinna was already really scared and you almost made her fall to the ground. And instead of going, oh, let me just dial it back a little bit, you decided to dial it forward 10,000 steps. Like, no wonder you're demonetized. No wonder this whole thing happened because David knows no limits. He's literally Logan Paul during the suicide forest situation. It's like pushing further and further and further until it just gets too far. And then you're like, oh, damn, I wasn't supposed to do that. Oh, God. It's like these people just don't know any limits of like regular human behavior. Like, just why would you do this? You're a multi-millionaire that's able to employ people to get this machine working, as in the channel is the machine. Like, you're able to hire people to make it run smoothly and you're just choosing not to. You're choosing to be reckless. You're choosing to be irresponsible. You're choosing to be an idiot. And I'm just getting a little bit frustrated. Anyway, I'm just sad for Jeff because it just feels like he was like ready to commit for the vlogs. And he saw that other people like Corinna were really scared to do things. So he was like taking on different stunts from people because he didn't want like Natalie and he didn't want Corinna to do things that they weren't comfortable doing. So he was just like, oh, I'll do it. Don't worry about it. And then he's the one that got a lifelong injury. Like, he's literally still unable to see from that eye. Like, David has to face some consequences for stuff that he's done or allowed to happen on his vlogs. I get that he's demonetized and all of that stuff, but like, if I was Jeff, I'd be suing. Yeah, I'm petty, but like if I was Jeff, I would sue David for some money because that is just ridiculous that even happened. Anyway, this was a shorter video, but I just thought I'd cover it because 2 parts of it now come out and I think it's just fascinating, the culture behind the vlog squad and the stuff that he pressured them into doing. Because it's not like he forced them to do it, but there was definitely a pressure of like, if you don't do it, you're going to be out of the vlog. So it's like, they really had no choice. They kind of had to go along with things that they were really uncomfortable with doing. Anyway, if you guys enjoyed the video, give it a thumbs up, comment down below anything you want to comment down below, and subscribe to post videos every time something happens. So hit that bell, be notified when that's happening. Social media links, any other links in description. I'll see you in my next one. Bye guys.